Portable photo printers have been making a comeback. And honestly, there's something really satisfying about having physical photos again. Sticking them in journals, on your fridge, giving them to friends at parties. The problem? Most portable printers are either terrible quality, eat through expensive paper like crazy, or they're so complicated you need a manual just to print one photo. I've tested a bunch of these things, and I've found the 5 that actually deliver decent prints without making you want to throw them out a window. Number 1 has literally been to like 10 parties with me, and people lose their minds every time. I've dropped updated links with the best pricing in the description below. Let's get into it. Starting at number 5, we've got the Canon IVY Mini photo printer, and this thing is legitimately pocket-sized. Like, you can throw this in your bag or even a big coat pocket and forget it's there until you need it. The design is sleek, it comes in some fun colors, and it connects to your phone via Bluetooth in like 2 seconds. The app is pretty straightforward. You pick your photo, do some basic editing if you want, and hit print. The whole process takes maybe 50 seconds from start to finish, which isn't lightning fast, but it's not painfully slow either. The print quality is decent for what you're getting. We're talking 2 by 3 inch sticky back prints using zinc zero ink technology, which means no ink cartridges to deal with. The photos come out with that glossy finish, and the colors are vibrant enough for casual use. They're not going to win any photography awards, but for party snapshots, travel memories, or decorating your space, they look good. The sticky back is actually useful too. You can slap these on notebooks, walls, laptops, whatever. My main issue is that the prints can fade a bit over time if they're exposed to direct sunlight, and occasionally you'll get a print that comes out a little streaky if the paper gets jostled. Price-wise, the printer itself runs about $80 to $100, which is reasonable for entry-level. But here's the catch with all these portable printers: the ongoing cost of paper. You're looking at roughly 50 cents to 60 cents per print depending on where you buy the zinc paper, and that adds up fast if you're printing a lot. For casual use at events or occasional printing, it's manageable. Just be aware that this is one of those products where the initial cost isn't the whole story. At number 4, we've got the Kodak Mini 2 Retro, and Kodak went full nostalgia with the design on this one. It looks like a vintage camera, which is honestly kind of charming. But beyond the aesthetics, this printer uses 4 PASS technology instead of ZINK, and that makes a noticeable difference in print quality. The prints go through 4 separate passes: yellow, magenta, cyan, and then a protective coating, which results in more accurate colors and better durability than zinc prints. The photos genuinely look closer to what you'd get from a professional print shop. The printer connects via Bluetooth and NFC, and the app gives you way more editing options than the Canon. You can add filters, borders, text, even AR features if you're into that sort of thing. The prints are also 2 by 3 inches, and while they take a bit longer to produce, around 60 to 90 seconds, the quality difference is worth the wait in my opinion. The colors are richer, skin tones look more natural, and the protective laminate means these prints hold up way better over time. I've had some sitting on my desk for months, and they still look exactly like the day I printed them. The printer itself is a bit bulkier than the Canon, but it's still portable enough to bring along. The printer costs around $100 to $130, so slightly more expensive up front. And the cartridge situation is different. You're buying cartridge and paper combos, and you're looking at about 50 cents to 70 cents per print depending on pack size. It's comparable to zinc costs, but the quality is legitimately better. If you care about your prints actually looking good and lasting, this is worth the slight premium over basic zinc printers. It's not perfect. The app can be a little buggy sometimes, but the print quality really does stand out. Coming in at number 3 is technically the same Canon IVY that we talked about at number 5, but I'm listing it again here because it's the best seller on Amazon for a reason, and I think that's worth acknowledging separately. The reason this thing dominates sales is pretty simple. It hits that sweet spot of affordable, compact, and easy to use. People aren't buying this because it's the absolute best portable printer on the market. They're buying it because it does exactly what most people need without any fuss or complexity. What makes this the best seller specifically is that Canon nailed the casual user experience. You don't need to read a manual, you don't need to troubleshoot weird connectivity issues, and you don't need to be a photographer to get decent results. It just works. The app is simple, the prints come out consistent enough for social media style photos, and the sticky back feature is genuinely useful for scrapbooking and journaling, which is huge right now. Plus, Canon's brand recognition gives people confidence that it won't just die after 3 months. The customer service is solid too, which matters when you're dealing with a gadget that relies on an app. At $80 to $100, it's priced right in that impulse buy zone where people don't overthink it too much. You see it, read a few reviews, and grab it. The zinc paper is widely available both online and in stores, so you're not hunting for obscure refills. Is it the best quality printer on this list? No, but it's the most accessible, the most foolproof, and for most people's actual use cases. Printing party pics, making memories tangible, having fun with friends, it delivers exactly what they're looking for. Sometimes the best seller is the best seller for legitimate reasons. At number 2, we've got the Fujifilm Instax link-wide printer, and this is where we're stepping up to a completely different format and vibe. Instead of those tiny 2x3 prints, this uses Instax wide film, which gives you roughly 4x3-inch prints with that iconic instant film look. If you grew up with Polaroids or you're into that vintage aesthetic, this is going to hit different than the digital-looking zinc prints. The prints have that warmth and character that you just can't replicate with other technologies. There's something magical about watching the image develop right in front of you. The printer itself is well built with that classic Fujifilm quality. It connects via Bluetooth, and the app is actually really fun to use. You can add frames, filters, collages, and there's even a feature where you can print from Instagram directly. The print quality is excellent for instant film. Colors are well balanced, and you get that soft, slightly dreamy look that instant film is known for. What I really love is that these prints feel substantial. They're thicker than zinc prints. They have actual photochemistry happening, and they last basically forever if you store them properly. The wider format also makes them way better for group shots or landscape photos. Here's where it gets expensive though. The printer runs $150 to $180, and the film is significantly pricier than zinc paper. You're looking at roughly $1 to $1.25 per print, sometimes more depending on where you buy. A 20-pack of film will run you about $20 to $25. So this is not the printer for someone who wants to print everything. This is for special moments, for curated prints that you actually care about. If you're selective about what you print and you value that instant film aesthetic, it's worth it. But if you're planning to print dozens of photos at every event, your wallet is going to hate you. And landing at number 1 is the HP Sprocket Portable 2x3 Instant Photo Printer. And yeah, this is the one that comes with me everywhere. What makes the Sprocket the top pick is that HP somehow managed to balance quality, reliability, fun features, and reasonable ongoing costs better than anyone else. The printer is super compact, literally fits in your back pocket, and it comes in a bunch of colors and patterns. The build quality feels more premium than you'd expect at this price point. It's not cheap plastic. It actually feels like something that'll survive being tossed in bags and taken to festivals. The HP Sprocket app is honestly the best in the category. You've got tons of editing options, AR features, the ability to print from social media, and even collaborative printing where multiple people can connect and queue up photos. The print quality using zinc paper is the best I've seen from any zinc printer. Colors pop, there's good detail retention, and the sticky back adhesive is strong without being impossible to reposition. The prints come out in about 40 seconds, which is noticeably faster than most competitors. Battery life is solid too. I've gotten like 35 to 40 prints on a single charge, which is enough for a full event without needing to find an outlet. The printer itself costs around $90 to $120 depending on which design you get, and the special editions sometimes go on sale. The zinc paper runs about 40 cents to 50 cents per print if you buy in bulk, which is the cheapest per print cost on this list. That might not sound like a huge difference, but when you're printing 50 or 100 photos, those savings add up. This is the one I actually reach for because it's reliable, it's fast, people can use it without me having to explain anything, and the prints look good enough that people actually want to keep them. It's not trying to be fancy or revolutionary. It's just a really well-executed portable printer that does exactly what it's supposed to do every single time.